Hello,
Hello.
everybody. How's it going?
It's good. Are you asking me?
No, I'm not asking you. I'm asking everybody out there in the YouTube land. We got to welcome.
We got a lot of people
We
in
got to
here.
welcome the first. Troy, Don, Danny, Nate. Welcome.
Kat's
Kat.
here. Jacob, Brent.
Thank you all
Yes.
for showing up today.
It's been a minute.
It has been.
been
I'm
more
so
than
glad you remembered us.
I know. I barely remember us. Heroes is here.
Danny.
Danny's here. Welcome, you guys. Yeah, I talked about it briefly on the live before the live, but it's been a month. Just about. Because we skipped one. Because we do this every 2 weeks.
I think that's the thing is like when you get like in a routine of doing it, it doesn't seem like off.
Yeah.
But once you take a break, it's like, man, what was the last thing we talked about? It's been so long.
A long time. Yeah. Everybody's throwing up rising moons
Rising
in the
moons.
chat. Hello. But yeah, we've done a lot in this last month.
Yeah.
We're always like
just staying busy. Always busy.
Always. What was that? Did you see that meme that was like adulthood is just saying like, oh, things will get easier next week.
Yeah, I posted that.
Oh, did you post it?
until we die.
Until we die.
Or like, well, let's schedule something. Let's hang out.
I literally told somebody like, oh yeah, get with me next week. Things will be so much calmer. But I do actually have a reason why things are busy this week, specifically for me, which is our Wish Upon a Star Cruiser cruise.
Yeah.
Is coming up in 92 days. And I can tell you the exact countdown of days because at 90 days is when final payments due. And there are a lot of people, like, there are a lot of us congregating on this cruise together, which means there's a lot of final payments to be made and like tracking people down and like, would you like to add or decline trip? I cannot tell you the amount of times I have typed the sentence, would you like to add or decline trip insurance?
Well, I think that's the hard part of like doing, like, just like the spinning plates, right? Because you're like, you have a bunch of people going at once. So you're like, all right, a whole bunch of people have to, you have to wrangle those cats.
Right. And they're wonderful cats and I absolutely adore the space cats. But like when you're booking it, like when we first announced it, there was a big influx of people. But then since then, it's been kind of in waves. And there's been sometimes, like it was waves. So sometimes it would be really busy and I would be quoting and booking a lot. And then there would be a few days where nobody came through. But all the final payments hit at once. It doesn't matter when the bookings came through. All the final payments came through at once. And so it was like... So I sent out an email. Hopefully, if you're in here, if you are booked on the cruise,
send it in.
Send it in. I've already got some of y'all. I see some of y'all, but yeah. So I'm gonna have to probably track down some people tomorrow too, because I'm like,
send out the goons. Break some legs.
I'm gonna send you out there.
I gotta get one of those little,
like the little bowler cap things.
Yeah. And have that little billy club thing.
Oh my god, like the little tiny ones.
Yeah.
Silly. But yeah, so that's what's keeping me busy this week. On top of just like, we'll get to it later. We have something very exciting that we've got launching tomorrow that we've been working on.
That's a tease.
Stick around. It's going to be pretty cool, actually. So do you want to get into, what do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about Life Day or do you want to talk about our last episode?
Let's talk about our last episode.
Okay.
Kind of get through that first.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
So our last episode was called it Stress the Halls.
Yeah.
And I started off very strong by saying that I don't generally care for the holidays and the stress that it brings.
I think that in the part that was like misinterpreted was the stress. Like that's the part that you don't like.
Yeah.
It's not the holidays.
No.
Not the, the partaking in all the fun things. It's the stress that comes with it when, there's expectations to do things.
Right. And it's like, it's expectations and then it's also self-induced stress. Because there's a lot, right? Like there's a lot of people to buy presents for, and then there's Christmas parties at the schools and with work and just all of these extra things. And it's like, you want to show appreciation to all of these people in your life that have been there for you throughout the year. but it like all culminates at one time.
Yeah.
And then like being back to work after, Thanksgiving break, I saw something today that was like, the time between Thanksgiving and Christmas is when everything is a priority and nothing is a priority. And I'm like, that's exactly how it feels right now. So it's just like, there's just a lot all at once. And I feel like we put this pressure on ourselves to be picture perfect and to have wonderful Christmas cards to send out and all these things. And like, I stopped sending out Christmas cards a few years ago, and it's been wonderful.
I think just going into it thinking, or like with the mindset of it's okay.
It's okay.
Like I think that's the mindset to go into like this season.
Right. Like protect yourself.
Yeah.
Like this season is not just about
try to enjoy
others.
it. Try to enjoy it. I think that's the big thing that we were kind of trying to get out of it was like it could be stressful and our little gripes about it, which we're very fortunate to be able to gripe about the things that we gripe about, but just being able to stop and enjoy that time, that's something we always have to like sit back and realize.
Yeah. So yeah, it's.
Oh, and then Troy's like, because again, for me it was the birthday, that always hits me, that always gets me going. But Troy's, their family wouldn't put up Christmas stuff until like after his brother's birthday.
Oh man,
and it's like close to Christmas too.
Oh man,
so, good on them because they showed that love.
I wouldn't mind doing that actually, because sometimes I feel like the Christmas stuff is up too long too. Sometimes it just feels like a lot. Like when you're already busy, like sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's self-imposed, and trying to get over it, get past it, because again, there's just a pressure too of it. Oh, next year, and you start putting like this again expectations. Like here's things.
Yeah.
So
our Christmas tree, for the record, is not up.
Not yet.
It's not even remotely close to being near the place that it's going to go. It's still in the attic, but that's okay.
Yeah,
it'll get up when we decide we're ready to put it up. So,
but
yes,
we had that conversation.
Yeah,
but at the same time, we decided to spend this was like our holiday travel that we decided to go to Disneyland. Mm-hmm. And go hang out for Life Day.
Yeah.
On Batu.
Who would have thought it would be
we did.
Lovely?
we decided a year ago. We were like, everybody was there. We got to go check it out.
Yes,
so.
we were very easily influenced. So the reason we decided to go out to Life Day was our friends influenced us. So Dano was there, and I think he's gone like almost every year that they've had Life Day on Batu. So just like a little bit of background on Life Days. It's not actually something that Disney puts on. It's put on by just fans of the holiday special. And so one person in particular, his name is Obi-Shawn, started this thing that was like, hey, it'd be fun if we all kind of dressed up and then go to the park. And I think it was before even Galaxy's Edge was open, and would like rewrote Christmas carols to include like Star Wars references and stuff like that. And then Galaxy's Edge opened, and it just kind of grew into this big thing. Dano had been going to it for a few years, and he went last year, and he was like texting us the whole time about like, man, this is really fun. This is really cool. And like sending us pictures. And then our friends Peter and Kitra were there, and they were all like running around together and like posting pictures and sending pictures to us. And they're like, oh, we're having so much fun. It was like,
the FOMO kicked in. So
immediately
we were
decided,
like, we're going to go. And it was a fun time.
It was
fun time. Really fun, because that was our kids' first time going to Disneyland.
Right.
So during the day, we got to just go hang out at the park. Right. And like, that was an actual Disneyland day that we weren't rushing to get anything done. We actually got to like get in there early, go ride rides, which, West is like making the biggest statement for me in my head, because their overlays, like they have overlays on everything.
Yeah, they had the Haunted Mansion overlay on, or no, Nightmare Before Christmas overlay on Haunted Mansion.
And then the Small World.
Small World had a holiday overlay, which I was shocked by how in-depth that overlay was.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a whole different ride. So it was like super cool. It's super cool to be able to go to the park and have have it different and it feel different. But yeah, we hung out at Disneyland all day, and then being able to see friends, like, you just like in the park, it was again, it was like the cool hangout spot, it felt like. And seeing friends throughout the day, and then later on when everybody's in red was such a great time.
Yeah. So we didn't get dressed up for the full day, and I felt so bad too, because we were there with the Sunfields. And so we were like, we're going to rope drop. We're going out there like super early in the morning. Like, we want to be there to like really experience Disneyland, because we've never been able to experience Disneyland like that. And we were like, okay, let's meet outside. Like, let's meet at the corner and we'll walk together. It's like super early in the morning. I don't know. And they come walking in with like all their Life Day stuff. And I was like, oh no, I'm so sorry.
But the thing is they go hard all day.
All day.
Every time that we've gone out, they always stay at the park, and we don't. We break.
We're weak.
Yeah.
Maybe we're strong.
No, we've stayed out one time with them, and I'm like, never again. I need my break. I need to just like get off my feet, kick my shoes off, and rest.
Yeah, so we did that. So we went out and did Disneyland. We rode a bunch of rides with the kids. And then we mobile ordered our sporks.
Yeah. Oh, that was like the big, like, you have to mobile order. You have to mobile order.
I know. It started in like one group chat, and then everybody's like, make sure you mobile order your spork before they run out. I don't think they've run out. They ran out of like some of the food offerings throughout the day, but they didn't run out of sporks, I don't think. But I think because everybody was freaking out about mobile ordering sporks, that's just kind of where everybody ended up congregating.
And like on accident, right?
Yeah.
So that was cool. Now, kind of going back to the spork thing, they should have just sold the whole thing, like the meal, the spork, and there were drink with it? I don't know.
There wasn't
basically,
a
like
drink
everybody
there.
got the same thing.
Yeah.
It was like the meal, like the 2 meal things, and then the spork. It was just like, just put it all together.
Just bundle it up. But yeah, it was. Oh, see, they're not out. They got sporks on Saturday. But yeah, it was funny. And what made me laugh too was that it's so silly that we're spending this much time talking about a spork, but it's a nice spork like what they used to serve.
They used to give.
That's the utensil that you were given at Docking Bay 7. But it says Happy Life Day on it, and it comes in this little like red velvet bag, and in Arabic I think it says family, harmony, joy, or something like that. But it's like a red little drawstring velvet bag. And so everybody was carrying them around, and it looked like everybody had tiny stockings. And I'm like, what'd you get in your stocking? Peter says, I'm trying to tell everyone he wouldn't sell it. Who was it? Peter, I thought it was you. Maybe it was Dano inciting fear in all of us. That the sporks were going to, like, pre-order your sporks now. But it was fun because we ended up there was probably 20 or 30 of us. They were all just kind of hanging around this big table.
On one of the wings.
Yeah, it was the wing. Yeah, it was Dano. That makes sense. Inciting fear in us.
Katie, kind of go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Happy to get e-card posts out by midnight on Christmas Eve. I think a year or so after my son. Not the window. Yeah, e-cards are easy.
That's the way to do it. I saw some people that were putting up, like, you could enter your address to get a Christmas card from people, which I thought was really cool because then you've got it all like collated. But it's just, I love doing it and I really love getting Christmas cards, but it just was more stress than I could.
Yeah, Brent was there.
Brent was there. We spent a lot of time in Oga's, more time in Oga's than I thought we were going to. But yeah, so anyway, so we go get our sporks at Docking Bay 7. We hung out for a while, and our daughter ended up falling asleep. And so we're like, now is the time. If we're going to go back and rest and like go get dressed and everything, like, let's go do it. And so we went back to the hotel, and we stayed kind of far. Like, it was over by the convention center, so it was about a 20-minute walk. But I got dressed up. You wore your Star Cruiser finest.
Yeah, so I was very lucky. I had made a pretty much all red outfit.
Yep.
I got my little scoundrel jacket with some red pants and, put the belts on, and yeah, so it was like pretty much done before we had got there.
Yeah, you were done. Well, and this was the interesting thing too, is that West is more strict with the costumes. So when we were there, when we got there first thing
in the morning.
Yeah.
So they were a little bit more, checking people out, and again, it's understandable. They're making you take all the the belts and stuff like that off. Again, it's reasonable, but you do have to go. You have to be taking everything off, which it could be a hassle if you have a bunch of stuff on.
Yeah. So
and pockets and pouches and stuff.
Yeah, it seemed like they were more strict in the morning, and then when we came back, because we went back into the parks, probably around 4 or so.
I think so. Yeah.
It was around 4, because we had pictures. We'll get to that, but yeah, but at that point they were like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. They didn't really care as much.
And it, talking about it, I had realized it the last time or when we went through it, but talking about it now, with all the other parks, like the Florida parks, they have security for each park, right? And then this one, it's on the outside. So even if you basically have like 3 areas of people going through the same security. You have like Disney Springs or downtown Disney, DCA, and Disneyland. So you have like an immense amount of people going through one set of security instead of like Florida where
that's fair.
It's all different. So it's brutal, but it's not that bad compared to
it's just longer security lines than normal. Peter says West cares a lot about what you're wearing, but apparently not what you aren't wearing. Is that a jab at the small world?
Oh, I guess it was a small world.
Oh, we were
yuck.
Peter, I want to tell them about your Photoshop skills. Let me know if that's okay. We'll go back and talk about it because it was super funny. Anonymous person. Good evening. Did I miss Sarah's third drink? I have not drank an alcohol today. We're trying to be better about what we're eating right now because we're in the time where we would usually just eat everything. We have a cruise coming up. Okay, so Peter says sure. So we all know that the ribbons at the Star Cruiser docking bay were taken down. They were on the gate.
Well, maybe you don't know.
Maybe you
so
don't
that's even
know.
Back further.
Okay.
There's the gate through the entrance at East where like you would enter to the transport to back on ship.
Yeah.
There was a gate there.
And the gate was locked.
And people started to take ribbons, kind of like what they did on the tree over by the wishing tree, of just ribbons of, in honor of, Star Cruiser. And, there was some cute ones out there. People had a couple of videos.
Like Together as One on there. They're really, really pretty.
Yeah.
They're a really pretty tribute. But there started to be more and more and more. And it's been, 2 months since Star Cruiser's closed? And all of a sudden, overnight, 2-3 nights ago, all of the ribbons were removed, and they put up. They're not trash cans, but they're crates.
They're the crates. They're blocking your way.
They haphazardly put up just random crates to block so that you couldn't get back there by the gate anymore. And so it was. I mean, it's really sad because that was the place that you could go, and a lot of people have posted a lot of really beautiful words about it, but. I had posted our Life Day.
So within our group chat, we're joking about that, how, it sucks that happened, and they're just like trying to totally erase Star Cruiser.
Right. But then at the same time, I had been posting about our Life Day stuff, and one of the slides in the Life Day post was Dano pretending to lick the big button on the Falcon. Because he's done it before, and he didn't remember doing it before, but he was like, he'd
get close enough.
He gets close enough where it looks like he licked it, but he didn't.
A forced perspective.
Right. But he, so very Disney of him. But, so it was a joke. Well, then Peter goes and finds a picture of the Falcon, that same spot, and puts those crates in front of it.
It was great.
Oh, it's so good.
So then we're, keep going, and that was the same day that the the guest that wasn't wearing clothes on Small World. And so I made the joke of like, oh, they need to put those same crates in front of Small World. So Peter came through with the crate, like a photoshopped image of the crates.
Like the big facade, the big front of Small World, and it's just crate after crate after crate. It was so funny.
So it was a good laugh. It was a good laugh for sure.
Dano, the button licker. Oh, boss nasty to an expert level. But yeah, so anyway, so back to Life Day. So you had your Star Cruiser vest. I whipped together. I'd had this idea like a long time ago. It's just that I cannot do anything except for like the next thing that's in front of me. And so I didn't start on my costume until I think the weekend before, but I dressed up as Akmina, the bartender from the holiday special, which is, if you don't know, is B. Arthur. She had gray hair. She wore a red dress. It was Life Day. I was like, this is perfect. This is like, I was made for this costume. This costume was made for me. And it was easy because the dress was like, I say it was easy. I messed it up like 4 times. And it was literally just like some baggy sleeves and a dress, like a sack dress. But yeah, I whipped that together pretty quickly, thankfully, and then just put on some fake hair to
It came out good.
Ponytail. Now
the funny thing, this leads into like what our conversation is. Since it was known that we were going.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
We had a Holoskin database.
Yeah.
Douglas. He reached out and offered us a photo session because we were going to be out there.
Yeah.
And, we've been cosplaying and stuff. And you said, I was going to do
so here's
Akmina.
Usually I don't say like what I'm going to be beforehand just because I do procrastinate. It's not like a big like, oh, let me reveal what I am. It's like,
you don't know if it's going to finish.
I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Like if it doesn't, I don't want there to be like, oh, where was your Akmina? So I just like, I give up. Like I just don't, like if it happens, it happens and great. But when we were working with Holoscan database, which by the way, it was like a really cool process because he was like, yeah, if you guys are going to dress up as your original characters, let's work on like a backstory and why you're there on Batu on Life Day and all of these things. And then I had to tell him, I'm like, I'm dressing up as B. Arthur.
But I think that from that, because we actually got to sit, we were like, okay, because, he asked us for a little backstory.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't know, let me, you feel kind of silly for a little bit, but then, we sat down for lunch and, we ate and we're like, oh, wouldn't it be funny or like, wouldn't it be cool if this?
Yeah.
And then we just kind of like, we're riffing off of each other and you're like, well, I could be just like dressed as Akmina and I could be my Betty Bantha. And it was just, I think that part was fun because we were just like hanging out and like riffing and it ended up being like our stories.
Yeah. And we were just like cracking up the entire time, like writing it because we're like, this is ridiculous. But then like by the end of it, we're like, oh, that's actually like a pretty good story.
Yeah.
And then he took it and like refined it even more because essentially what we did was I was the only OC that I have because when we would go on Star Cruiser, we wouldn't embody an original character necessarily. We were just kind of us on Star Cruiser, like Star Cruiserified.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think the first time, the very first voyage is the one that we like really like went out there as far as story wise. Yeah. And we were like staying close to that story. Whereas like every other time we try to just like play loose and like, you know what? I feel like, yeah, well, I mean, like if I want to go Jedi, then that's what I'm feeling. Or if like I was swayed by First Order, like I'm okay with, I didn't stay any hard, fast paths after that.
We never brought like, I just remember the one that had brought like unpopped popcorn kernels because there was this whole backstory about like their family's farm and all of these things. And it was like, Katsuka like took down their family's popcorn farm. And so they were passing out, like there were people that went so far with their original characters, which I absolutely loved. But the only one that I have ever created was Betty Bantha. And I love Betty. And so when we were coming up with the story, I was like, okay, well, the joke was always like, I've been Betty Bantha on Batu in East for Dapper Day. And so I made a deal with Lieutenant Agnon when I was there. Like, truly, like, we made a deal and that I would sponsor, like, they would sponsor, or Betty would sponsor the first order or something like that. So I was like, okay, well, my whole thing for going to West is that I want to do the same on the West outpost, but Oga won't let me on Planet, and so I had to go undercover. But then at the same time, you are a droid builder and a scoundrel, and so you had received like a comm that you needed to be there. You needed to go deliver a message.
Yeah, get parts and stuff. But again, it was just like a cool like little story.
Yeah,
that was, you know, we got to build on the characters. But yeah, then we went out and you know, took some photos, which was really cool. Like, you know, I've never had that, you know, done.
Not
well, I mean, I guess
Galaxy's
we've had like
Edge.
family pictures, but you know, being like not just like smiling, posing type
Like,
of, yeah,
arm around each other type.
yeah, not those kind of pictures, but like cool pose pictures, serious pictures. So that was really fun to just kind of get out of, you know, my skin, what it felt like.
And it was neat too because it was on Galaxy's Edge. It's a place we're so familiar with, even though we don't go to West as often. But we were tucking into different corners than what we would usually do.
Yeah.
And so that was neat too. Like, it was. I really, really highly recommend, like, if you are going to be on West and you're going to dress up, like, reach out to him because he took great photos of us. Super easy to work with. He was like, "Hey, do like this," you know.
Yeah, I think that again, that's the thing too. Is like, you don't. I didn't know what to do when what do I do with my hands? And he was like, "Do this," like, and you know, all I had to do was copy it. So
Yeah. No,
it was super cool.
It was a lot of fun. So we did that, and we scheduled that right before the official Life Day activities like kicked off, so that way we could go participate in all of them. But what I was not expecting was there were so many people.
That was a lot.
Oh boy,
It was a lot.
There was a lot of people. Here, let's go back to chat real quick.
Okay.
I've missed some. Let's see. Nope, you cannot hang ribbons anymore. New Hope Workshop is here. Welcome, welcome. If anyone plays Marvel Puzzle Quest, the new Peggy Carter character looks like Sarah. Talking about characters made for her. Ronnie Ronto. Like, that would be fun. AP is building some epic stuff for MegaCon and Mosh Isley Orlando. See, I'll start working on my Mosh costume like a week before the Burger King Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
We have 3 of the 4 of them, right? There's 4 of them?
I believe so.
I think we're missing 1. But the way that they've come to us is like, we have not paid for or like sought out any of them. It's just been like, oh, hey, you're a Star Wars nerd. I found this in my mom's garage. Like, literally all of them have been that way.
Yeah. And I think that's just, that's the best way. Is just like, oh, look, I found this. And they were, some of them were dirty, like grimy.
We're not drinking all of those. AP says, you naming this episode A Cold Day in Hoth made me hope you come up here to Alaska. I am cold, and it is like not that cold here. It's like in the 50s or something, in the 60s.
Yeah. So, but back to Life Day. Yes. Yeah, it was crowded. And I think the crazy thing is people were showing us pictures of prior Life Days, and it was way more crowded.
It was like a dozen or maybe 20 people doing the carols the first time. Like, there wasn't enough. I don't know that Obi-Wan anticipated as many people as there were going to be, because they were passing out the lyrics to the carols, but there was like nowhere near enough to go around. Like there was maybe like 10% of the people got the sheet. We were kind of on the outskirts of it just because we showed up a little like too close to the time that it was starting.
Well, too, it was a big crowd, so I stayed on the outskirts, and it was funny because that's how big it got, because I was like on the outskirt at first, and more people kept coming, so I like pushed back even further because I was still like
in the crowd. Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, there's a lot of people. So, but
it was so cool because even in this massive crowd of people where you're just like, I'm just one person in this crowd, like you would look around and you'd be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know they were going to be here. Like, oh, there's Nick over there.
Yeah.
Like, it was so fun to just
see the community.
And like, you didn't know, like, either had forgotten or just didn't know that certain people were going to be there. And so it was just like a fun surprise to run into everybody. And then everyone's dressed up.
I think the part there was people there that we didn't get to say hi to.
Yes.
And which is nuts, but yeah, there was people there that we didn't get, afterwards. I'm like, wait, they were there? That person was there?
He passed out 400 lyrics and ran out. Okay, so then it definitely wasn't 10%. But wow.
And the cool thing is
that's amazing.
The cast members, like, who at Disney, when they were doing the main stuff, like when everybody was around, they were blocking off like the other guests, saying, hey, like, go around, accommodating. They were very accommodating, which was really cool. And like everybody's dispersing. They didn't just go in there and shut it down and, say, oh no, it's too big or whatever. So that was super cool. Like the fact that they would
support something
they let it go because there was not, nothing, no harm being done, that was really cool.
Yeah. Well, anyway, especially if they're saying like, Brent and John are saying 300 and 400 lyric sheets passed out and ran out. Cause like, I don't think anybody in our group of like we were, like you said, on the outskirts, but there was probably like 20 or 30 of us. I don't think any of us got a lyric sheet cause we were so far on the outskirts.
Yeah.
Which was fine. Cause we were all just still like, oh my God, like all of our friends are here. And so we were running around like, just saying hi and hanging out with everybody. But that was over by kind of like the end of the marketplace where that dead space is. And it was filled, like it was absolutely filled to the point where we were standing at the edge of the marketplace and there was still people there. But then they had a processional over to the Falcon, I think. And they did like a picture with all of the orbs that people made. And they didn't sell orbs this year.
Missed opportunity.
I know. Well, they sold them last year. Why didn't they sell them this year?
I mean, to me, that's a missed opportunity. Like,
I didn't even plan on making one because I was like, I'll just buy one when I get there. And then I would have bought, there was 4 of us. I would have bought 4.
Yeah.
Oh, well. But I didn't realize this until the end of the night because our friends had bought one. Is the last year's ornament that was the Life Day orb lit up. Did you see that? I didn't know that it lit up. Oh, the shipment came in late. Well, dang. But yeah, so everybody moved over to the Falcon, which it felt like there was more space over there, maybe because it wasn't like tucked into a corner.
Yeah.
And so everybody was over there, and then we snuck off and we rode the Falcon with Brent.
Yeah.
And Dano. That's when Dano tried to lick.
Well, it was one of those things like we just like look up and we're like, oh man, it's like 10 minutes.
And so we dropped the stroller and like ran over there. We tried to get Chewy mode. And the cast member that we had was great. You remember that? Because like the door opened and he like jumped out with like a pretend. I think he had a flashlight or something. He like jumped out like he was going to fight us. And so he tried to help us with Wookiee mode. But I think one of us probably touched a button.
Yeah.
Our kids were with us. I think one of us probably touched one. But yeah, it was cool. And then by the time we got out there, everybody was still out there by the Falcon. And we got a big group shot of not all, but a lot of the Star Cruiser people that had gone out there for it, which was a surprising amount. And then I think by that point, all of the official festivities were done with Life Day, and we went to Oga's again.
Yeah. We went to Oga's, and then I took the little ones back, and then you went and hung out with the peeps that could still hang.
Yeah, it was a late night too, man. So I had organized just like a bar hang after Life Day. I don't know why I thought like hanging out at a bar after being out at the parks all day long was a good idea, because I was walking over there, I was like, I'm so tired. We had just gone to Oga's, and they had some special drinks, and they had special food for Life Day too. But the drinks were really good. Like that is one thing that West does, is that they will come up with like specialty cocktails for Life Day, like, or for Oga's birthday, or like different things. And we happen to have been there for a few of them. And they're always really good cocktails. It's not kind of like it's a throwaway.
Yeah, I mean, they try something different, and you're most likely gonna hit something on the head.
I know, but they're good. I mean, they should stick around. They were that good. But anyway, so we go to a bar at the Hilton, which is over by the convention center. It's a great bar. It's a good place to hang out. They were protesting over there, so it was kind of a little, they ended up like closing the kitchen down early, and like rightly so, because they just didn't have people. But yeah, we had a good group of people that went out there. You missed it because you went back with the kids. But there was a good amount of us, and we stayed until we closed the bar down. But that was nice too, because it was just kind of, but slowly Acmina disappeared and Sarah J. Mac came back. I was sitting there and I was so tired, and I was like, yeah, I think Acmina's done.
I didn't really care for them, Katie. Katie asked, were the fried blue orbs really blue cheese?
They were not blue cheese.
Not blue cheese. It was just like bread.
It was kind of like a Brazilian cheese bread, but it was so dense that I think I took like one bite of ours. Like none of our family liked it. Peter says, it was a fun day, but I will say I think Life Day has outgrown being a fan event next year. I feel like Disney needs to somehow take control of it, or the crowds will be out of control. I could see that. I was actually thinking that like it was a lot of people. Like
we need to go east with it to spread it out.
Split and go to east.
Because I mean, we didn't hear anything about. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was people at east too, but
there were some people, but I don't think that it was. There was any kind of like organized activities like what they did at West. I think it was more of just like, hey, show up. That was the other cool thing, is like when we did come back, because we took a break and then we came back dressed up, is cast members in the front of Disneyland and especially on Batu, but people were like wishing us Happy Life Day.
Yeah.
That was really neat. Like
the people that knew,
random thing. But yeah, I think we were buying like ice cream bars or something for our kids. And the cast member from the cart was like, Happy Life Day. Like started talking about us, but like, what's your favorite Star Wars? Who's your favorite character? Like we went, like had a nice little conversation.
It's always one of those weird things. You don't know if they're trying to challenge you. Like, do you even like Star Wars?
Do you think I'm a nerd? Yeah, right. But it was a great time. Like I really, really loved it. I was bummed in the moment that we didn't get to do the Life Day activities necessarily, because that's what we went for. Like we went for Life Day specifically, and then just because of us being late and because we were with such a big group of people, it was just difficult to do the activities and to like herd cats. Because at one point I was like, we're moving to the Falcon, and like trying to get people to like go so we could be there for the pictures. But we're when you roll in a group, like things just slow down. Do you even Star Wars, bruh?
Peter says East doesn't have an Obi-Shan. Maybe you or someone could organize something. Although this year it was during Jollywood Nights.
Oh, that's right. I forgot there was a Jollywood Nights on
actual day. Nah, I mean, and I think that's the thing is I feel like they did that intentionally so that there wouldn't be that crowd. Like, I don't think they really talk to each other and say, hey, let's work together and have like a coast to coast type of event. I think Hollywood Studios has their whoever's over it, and they want to run it one way, and it's different because they got other things, not just Galaxy's Edge over there. They have like everything. Yeah. They have all the Christmas stuff.
But yeah, no, it would be cool if there was something in East. I don't know how it would work either. Cause like, I don't know that Hollywood Studios would, I can't think of a better word, tolerate a group gathering like that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. And I don't want to be the one to organize it and then not be able to go anymore. AP says, I hope we can all have a gathering in Batu East in conjunction with Mosh Isley Orlando. That would be fun. I'm not going to be in Orlando long enough to actually
hang.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to make it into the Disney parks.
On that trip?
On that trip.
Busy businesswoman. A holiday time. Oh, Brent, you mentioned this before. A holiday time Life Day cruise. That would be pretty fun. Because all you do is like, Peter. Walt Disney World would put up crates to block Life Day. What would they do? They would just block off Galaxy's Edge altogether. That's what I said.
That is what you said. Those crates. I feel like those crates should just be like.
They're gonna be the thing.
They're like a meme to like a dozen of us. Like to a dozen of us, it's hilarious.
No, it's just like Space Cats. It's gonna spread. Peter, put up post
Can you just
a
make
green screen of just the
Can you make
the crates.
a PNG so we can just like paste it over?
Yeah, a little green screen, a little PNG and a green screen. So that way, when there's stuff that needs to get
There we go.
videos that need to get blocked.
Can you make a template
Request.
on CapCut, please? Because when we were joking about it in the group chat, I was like, nobody's gonna understand how silly it is, like the crates in the first place and where the crates came from, unless you were a Star Cruiser person that saw that they put.
It doesn't matter.
Up. And then like with
when
Small
something's
World
viral,
stuff
it's
too,
viral. So
it's viral to us. The Rolling Shrubs. APS, not going to do MegaCon either. So here's the thing. I am a busy businesswoman, and I planned 2 different types of work trips on at the same time. So I will be arriving to Orlando the morning of Mosh, and it's a Saturday, so I'll be flying back home on Sunday. Next thumbnail. Oh man, the crates are the new bear in Magic Kingdom riding Splash Mountain. That's just such a niche, ridiculous thing. I love it though. I mean, I don't love it. I hate that the crates exist. I hate those crates, but I love that we can roll with it.
Yeah.
Right? We're adaptable. But yeah, so I mean, we talked about Life Day and we talked a little bit about Disneyland, but this was our first trip to Disneyland where we actually did Disney, like we did Disneyland right, I feel like. And we gave it the respect that it deserves. Peter, I know you're still here. Typically when we would go to Disneyland or DCA, we would land that morning and then go to the parks. And so by the time we were at the parks for like 3 or 4 hours, we're like, oh, I'm tired. Or like the very first time we went to, I think we had a park hopper, so I think we went to both parks. It was the day after the first Mos Eisley. And that was just rough.
I'm just there. My body's just
upright. Yeah. Barely. Troy, when are we talking about Steven's thumb? A little Grogu.
Little cut.
It's the last Band-Aid in this house, too.
Well, this is the blood from the blood, sweat, and tears that's gonna go into the new set. So,
are you gonna talk about it, or is that all
no?
you're gonna say?
I'm not gonna. I've talked about it all year, and every time I talk about it, I get further away from it. So I'm not talking about it. But that's what you know. Hopefully, we'll see it.
Let me just say, I'm looking this direction right now, and it looks way different than it did before you cut your thumb.
Bad or good? I don't know, but it's different.
It's in progress. It's gonna look good. There's just a lot of spackle that's gotta happen. But yeah, so we did Disneyland right. We did not fly in. We intentionally, I was gonna fly us in on Life Day morning, and you were like, have you learned nothing? Can you please, can we fly in? And it worked out going that direction because the kids were able to go to school all day Thursday, and then we picked them up. We came home for like 30 minutes, packed up the car, and then went. And by the time we landed over there, it was like, 8? Yeah. Like, it was great the way it all worked out. But yeah, we did a full day at Disneyland, and then the next day we did a full day at DCA.
And can I say that, kudos to the kids because they are champs at traveling.
Yeah, they are.
Like they, know what they need to do when we get to the airport, and as long as they got their iPads, sit in their seat, and you don't see them they sit it to the very end.
But even then, I think I don't think we did a good job. We are, I think, so used to traveling now that we don't even prepare as much as we should for when we do travel, because I don't think the kids' iPads were charged all the way, or there were some things that were charged and some things that weren't charged. But no, the kids are great. They're never going to see this, but the kids were absolutely amazing and super champs. But yeah, so we got there really late on Thursday night, and complete sidebar, the Targets in California sell hard liquor. We had run into Target just to get some snacks for our hotel. And
Cat goes, did you smash your thumb on the crates?
That's awesome. Should we just like scrap this entire idea?
Put some crates out.
Some crates.
We're going to be sitting at some crates.
Whenever we're like flipping the set over, because it's going to change. Whenever we're flipping the sets over, we should just, if we're not going to be doing a live stream whenever it happens, it's just a live stream of crates and us working in the background.
Oh, man.
No, our Targets do not sell hard alcohol. The only places where you can buy
They sell wine.
Beer and wine, but that's it. But the only places you can buy like hard liquor is the liquor store. We call it a liquor store. I know it's like a package store or whatever, other places. But yeah, I was cruising through and I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to get a bunch of like Trulies or something.
But we do have like drive-through liquor stores too, and
we do.
Alcohol places. So some places are like, wait, what? Drive-through alcohol?
We call them drive-through
sealed.
bevies.
Yeah, they're sealed.
They're sealed, kind of,
but,
right?
But again, that's like a very dicey situation.
But that was the result of like COVID and trying to keep businesses open, and so. Oh, see, look, in Alaska, they don't even sell beer and wine. But yeah, they're sealed. So it's just a thing, but they put like a sticker over the lid and the straw hole, and that's sealed enough.
That's for them. That's sealed, so.
But yeah, I was shocked. So I like went into Target to go grab a couple things for us. I was like, I'll just get some like Trulies or whatever. And then everything. They had Empress Gin. They had like the purple gin for Silver Sea martinis. I was like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I thought that was fun. But we did Disneyland. We talked about that. We got there like super early. And then the next morning we did a full day at DCA. And that day was fun because we had all hung out together the night before. And so it was just kind of like collecting infinity stones like throughout the day. Like there were just more and more of us that were all hanging out together, or we'd get a message, be like, hey, we're at DCA, where are you? We'd be like, oh, we're over here. And then we'd get more people.
I think that's always the fun thing, like, just meeting up with people. Sometimes you lose one and then you pick up another friend over here. So it was definitely a great time just hanging out.
Yeah. Like some of them I think the were weather intentional.
Was fantastic. Like it was great. It was for the weather, it does it. Like I think that's like the best thing about the parks is the weather.
Yeah. No, the weather was gorgeous. DCA, I love DCA. We took our kids on Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, and they'd never done, like, our son is older and well past the height limit to do it, but it's taken them a while to, like,
we've
really
never, like,
coasters.
pushed them to do any rides that they didn't want to do. It was one of those things that, are you ready to do it? And he was like, yep.
And he had been saying for a while he was ready to do Tower of Terror. But we happened to be there for Mission Breakout, and I like look at the height, and it was 40 inches. And our daughter just passed 40 inches, and we're like, oh, well,
yeah,
let's do it. And so our son absolutely loved it. Our daughter, after every new ride that she did, she would give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And immediately, as soon as like,
she did it.
She did it.
But she said nope.
And that's the great thing about her is even if she does a ride and she doesn't like it, she's not going to cry. Like, she's just going to kind of like curl in on herself and be like, no. But she doesn't like scream or make a big fuss. But, well, I'll tell another story in a second. But yeah, afterwards, like, Naomi was sitting behind us, and she immediately turned around to Naomi and was just like,
nope.
But later on, we did Radiator Springs Racers, and you weren't with us because we did I think we did boys versus girls. And so it was me, Naomi, and our daughter. And our daughter was sitting between me and Naomi, and she started to get scared. We were in the seat. You load in, and then you put your seatbelt on, and you go up to the next station where they check your seatbelt, right? They have you pull the yellow tab. And our daughter was like, is it going to go fast? Is it going to go fast? I was like, it's only going to go fast for a little bit. Like, it's not Like, I know you're going to be okay. I know you're going to enjoy it. You're going to have a lot of fun. But she was starting to like psych herself out, even though she'd been excited the entire time. Anyway, we get to the seatbelt check, and she like looks up at the cast member with like tears in her eyes. And she was like, is this going to be scary? And he sat there and he held our car there for a solid minute. And he explained the entire ride to her and reassured her. And he was like, you're going to have so much fun. And he's like, I promise. Like, just said the nicest things, and she was like, okay. And then sure enough, we did the ride, and she absolutely loved it. Immediate thumbs up. But it was just like, oh, like, kudos to Jesse. Jesse was his name. But yeah, it was fun. So we did pretty much everything DCA had to offer. We did not go back and take a break. We did not listen to our own advice that day. But we did leave the parks earlier, so
no,
we
didn't go back because that was like a good walk.
Oh,
but
I forgot.
We did stay in San Francisco and pretty much took a break.
We all fell asleep in San Francisco. I forgot about that. So we did a pretty good. Oh, here Rob says I ruined my oldest on Tower of Terror at age 3. He begged me the whole trip to take him, and he was never the same. He finally wrote it again last week, 5 years later, and now he loves it.
And then
I guess
Galen.
Oh, Galen, sorry to hear about your dad. But yeah.
Hearing my thoughts.
Yes, very much so. New Hope says you were so lucky to get on Silly Symphony Swings and Golden Zephyr. They're closed so often. I don't know that we were that lucky. Those were like, they're the rides where it's basically a swing, like a really long swing with long strings, and it spins you around so that the centrifugal force like pulls you out. And I was like, I don't know about this. The Golden Zephyr was fine because that one you fit like 10 people in like what looks like a hot dog, and you're just like swinging around this thing. But the Silly Symphony Swings, that's like the individual, like so super rickety, like metal swing, and you have to get in, and then you have to pull the thing down to like clip it on, and then freaking Dano, man. So we're waiting, and they were telling the group in front of us, like the ride that was going to go in front of us, they were like, please stay where you, like they're about to go up, and they were like, please remain where you are. Please do not swing into any of the fellow passengers. And so as soon as we get there, like I sit down, and I didn't see where he was. I was like, Dano, I don't want you sitting anywhere near me. And I like sit down because I was with our son. And all of a sudden, like I thought the ride took off because I felt like a boom. He's like back behind me, and he's swinging and like kicking my swing to try to push me into the person in front of me. But we survived. But yeah,
yes,
I didn't like
Bob,
that one
we
as
did.
much.
The ramen was really good.
We did the birria ramen. We did the
burrito.
Bulgogi burrito.
Yeah,
that one
was good too.
But the lines were really long in San Francisco, and then I think we were already like sleepy as it is, so we got our food, and yeah, I thought we were gonna get kicked out of that, and it was all Dano's fault. I just kept looking back over at him like, stop. It's like a brother, like leave me alone. But yeah, the ramen was great. The food was really great at San Francisco.
I tried the churro beer. I wasn't a big fan of it.
No.
Yeah, I was excited for it because I was like, oh, I love the churros over here.
Oh, the churros.
Have me a beer.
Oh, we did have churros too.
And it just wasn't there.
Wasn't it?
No. So.
But you didn't have to go on the Silly Symphony Swings.
No,
so.
I didn't. Like I finished it. That's my, I don't know how many stars or whatever, but it's one of those like, if I didn't finish it, it was that bad. I finished it, but I wouldn't say it was. I want another one. Yeah.
Action-packed video says, did you see the lights come on in Radiator Springs? We did.
Yes.
Unintentionally so, but I think we had just gotten off of Radiator Springs Racers, and then everybody took a bathroom break. That's when we ran into New Hope Workshop and his wife, and everybody was kind of standing around, and we couldn't find Naomi, and she finally texted us. She was like, I'm waiting for the lights to come on. And so we go over there, and the cast members do this little like conga line at some point, and so we got roped into the conga line, but that was fun. It was a fun little like, it felt like a very spontaneous
Radiator Springs is just like
such a vibe.
It is.
So cozy.
I love it. I really like hanging out there.
I like that whole side of DCA. Like even Avengers Campus grew on me this trip specifically.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay for me. Radiator Springs is the place for me.
What I liked about Avengers Campus is this time we had just gotten off of Mission Breakout, and I think we had gone to take a bathroom break or something, or maybe we had to go get the stroller after Mission Breakout. But we happened to just be walking by, and all of a sudden, like, Iron Man comes out, and but there was no line for him.
Well, there was a line immediately after he came out, but we were walking.
And he stopped, and we're like, oh.
Yeah, it was like one of those things where we could have just kept walking to the right, or like, oh, let's just walk into the line.
Avengers hallway. I mean,
there's stuff there, but it's not stuff there, if that makes sense. Like, there's things around to look at, and again, like being able to eat at Pim's Kitchen and then see the show was like, it's cool.
Well, and they had a cute like holiday version of the show that they do up on the balcony there.
Yeah.
So that was neat, and we hung out at Pim's Kitchen a lot. We had breakfast there, and we didn't do lunch. We just had drinks there, and that's when we ran into like a whole other group of Star Cruiser people. Rob says Cars Land is the best land aside from how every land looks at Tokyo Disney.
Man,
you want to go, don't you?
Well, the thing is, like, Rob, I was telling Sarah that like our next episode we're gonna have to talk about Tokyo, Disneyland Tokyo, because it seems like everybody has gone, just went like everybody. It was everybody that talks about Disney has gone to like, why haven't you gone already?
Well, we were talking to Peter about that too, because the conversation's always like whenever anything happens at either East or West, it becomes a East versus West debate in the group chat.
It's like, I just went to Disney. I
just wanted to go on a ride. But so it always becomes an East versus West thing. And I finally like realized the other day, I was like, we're over here, like, we think we're fighting for like first place, but really we're fighting for like fifth place, because it's like Tokyo and then probably like all the other parks, and then the domestic parks are like the bottom two. But I'm like, we're over here fighting, but we're like fighting for the scraps on the bottom. Like, yeah, Avengers Campus is pretty crammed, but I think it'll be interesting when they open up that new ride too. I think that'll help.
Which new ride?
They're gonna have a whole new ride, like where I think it's where we met Iron Man, like that huge like garage door right there. I think that's where the entrance is gonna be, is under there, I believe. I don't know where they put stuff though. It's tight over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got everything done. Our Send It Incredicoaster, so we got to go upside down for the first time on a ride. We missed out on that one, but it was a good time. It was nice. Like we said, we didn't take our midday break. Instead, we alternated taking naps in San Francisco at the table.
Yeah, it was nice. Again, the weather was fantastic.
The weather was gorgeous.
So.
And then we ended up, the group of us that was left at the end of the evening, we all just went and had dinner together at Grand Californian, and they have this huge gingerbread house they do that at the Disney World parks too, but they have this gingerbread house, and they have like hidden Mickeys around it. So we went with the kids and looked around and found all the hidden Mickeys. You could buy the gingerbread if you wanted to, but I think at that point we were also like full.
Yeah.
And then the next day we got up super-duper early, and we went to Super Nintendo World.
Yeah.
Like super-duper early.
Well, because we had to drive to
LA.
To LA.
And we didn't know how long it was going to be.
But traffic. No, I mean, so like we said it before, doing the what was it, the Express Pass?
It's called early admission.
Yeah. Is it definitely a must.
Yeah.
Like if you're wanting to do Super Nintendo World, it's definitely a must. This time around though, it seemed that there was, even though last time was sold out, this one was sold out as well, but there was a lot more. I don't know if
this one was sold out.
Oh, there was a lot more people.
Yeah.
There was a lot more people. So we were able to get everything done, but it was a bit more crowded. And so that was weird. But then after that, we were like, yep, we're never coming here again.
No, you make that sound so bad.
Because we're like, well, Epic's going to be opening up over at East. So we're just going to go over there.
We'll just be over there because then we'll have the Donkey Kong stuff. Brent, that's impressive. You got up and drove to Anaheim, or drove from Anaheim. I mean, that was the plan. So we like logistically. Let me talk about that as your travel advisor. Let me talk about it. So it was it was a big debate for us on how we were going to do this, because you can rent a car and you can drive up there. When we did it in July, we had Dano with us. And so Dano, we drove up the night before we were going to go to Universal Studios, and we stayed in Hollywood. So it was like super easy to just boop over. And the park opened, I think, an hour earlier when we went in July. So it was fine. But this time we were like, well, we don't want to just like drive up to Hollywood and stay in Hollywood. We want to come back to Anaheim. So do you get a lift? Do you rent a car? Like, what do you do? And so we weighed the pros and the cons and the prices and everything, ultimately decided to just rent a car to take us up there. But because we were trying to be there by like 6:30 or 7, there was and it was a Sunday. There was no traffic. And so we were able to get up there like 40 minutes. I think it was like 45 minutes that we were able to get up there. But then coming back, there was traffic. So that took us.
Yeah, it took us a little.
Bad. Like, it was like an hour and a half to get back. It really wasn't that bad.
Nah.
Not as bad as it was in July, because in July it was like 3 hours.
Nah.
It was just miserable.
Rob, my opinion.
Nope.
There you go. East versus West is an argument of quantity. East versus quality. West. I prefer West, but love the things that are exclusively East. Epcot. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing is there's things that I wish they were almost like more different, instead of like, how do I get the same, like do different things so they can't be compared.
Yeah.
Because like one park will have something and another park will have something else.
Yeah.
Instead of them doing just duplicates of each, like even if it was a Batu, do it different. So that way this Batu has this Batu has this.
Like literally the east side of the outpost and the west side of the outpost. And they could still have like the Falcon and they could still have Rise, but like all the other components are even just like laid out differently.
Yeah, just change it completely so that there isn't that. And it'll make you want to go visit both.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Don't know. I mean, we always joke about like East versus West, but I feel like we're fully aware of the differences between the two and like why they are the way they are. Because with Disneyland, and we've talked about this before, but like with Disneyland, that is a park for locals primarily. And so they're people that have Magic Key, or they're people that live closer by. And so they're able to go to that park more often. And so they have to change it up and they have to have new offerings in order to get people. And it's usually food.
I think the biggest. Okay, let's talk about the service, and this is one of those things that over at West, they talk to you like you're an inconvenience. I'm gonna say that, Peter. They talk to you like you're an inconvenience, and you need to know what you're doing. You cannot go like, I think I want this. You know, they're a lot more accommodating over at.
But I think one of the reasons why, let me try to soften that statement.
I'm loving West, like I'm loving it. I'm all for it because like all the other stuff. Trip. But because I was there all day and got to enjoy it all. And the thing is we're Disney goers, so we know if there's a mobile order, but they are not. It's you're going to a local place, local spot, so don't come with the BS.
Exactly. So because there are more locals there, they just, I think, have the expectation that people know what they're doing. And so when people don't know what they're doing, they're like, what's up, man? Like, come on. I don't think Peter's here anymore. He stopped commenting, so we can say whatever we want. But with Disney World, that is like the vacation destination for like the globe. Like anybody that wants to go on a big, massive vacation, they're going to Disney World. They're not going to waste their time with Disneyland. It's a smaller park. There's not as much to do there. Like, you're going to go to Disney World. Like, if you're coming from, say, like, Asia or Brazil or Europe, like, it doesn't matter where you're coming from. Australia, people want to go to Disney World because there's so much to do there. And if you're going to be coming from that far away for that long, you're going to want a lot to do. You're going to want the 4 parks, not the 2 parks. And so East is used to working with strangers that don't know what they're doing all the time. So they're going to have
a little bit more patience.
Yeah, their gloves on to help ease you through things. And then they're going to be more consistent. So they're not going to have special drinks for Oga's birthday or for Life Day or for any of these other things, because if it's something, or like a holiday overlay.
Yeah.
They do Jingle Cruise, but that's kind of like a really light touch, in my opinion, of a holiday
they
overlay.
definitely don't.
So, but it's because they need to be consistent because of the constant turnover. And I would love to see, I would love some statistics on how many visitors at Disney World per day are like first time visitors versus like people that have been maybe like 2 or 3 times in their life, and then people that have been like 10 plus times, right? Versus like that same mix at Disneyland, because I guarantee you, I did not say that. Don't put that up on the screen.
Sarah said it. It's right there. Clip it.
Oh, God. Did I say that? Did I actually say that? Know. Oh, my God. I really did. I enjoy Disneyland for what it is. But I will also say this. Now, if you're going to say your thing about the cast members, I'm going to say something about the cast members at Disney World. On West, they were fantastic. However, whenever we go to Batu East, because of Star Cruiser and because of the community and just because we are there all the time, it feels more like home to me going to Batu East, because I know that I'm going to run into at least one person that I know. I'm going to run into a friendly face, even if I don't know them.
I think that's the thing. There was like people West, that's what they do. Like Marge going in there, like
the Droid Smith.
Yeah, they're gonna know each other. Yeah. So it's like, I think an invalid. I mean, it's a valid one, but it's not one that could be.
It's not an objective
shared.
one. It's a very subjective one. It's whichever one you go to more. But I also think too, because of Star Cruiser, you've got people that are wearing their M bands or their pins, and so there's a little bit more of like oh hey, we're in this like secret weird club over here. Let's see. What do we miss?
So, Anonymous says, my feel is that CMs at Batu East are much more willing to roleplay, whereas Batu West CMs have much more of this. This is just my day job. Disney assigned me. Yeah, I mean, that's...
Could be.
Yeah. Marco.
Slightly taken out of context. I like how you're the one that went in on the cast members, and I'm...
Well, no, it was just something like I remember like us saying, like when you were talking about it, it's like I'm really enjoying, Disneyland and DCA, but that was like the only thing that it popped up to me.
There's an expectation that you know what you're doing. Yeah, and we don't.
Rob's evolved into once in a lifetime destination, which to me has made it feel vanilla. It has the variation reaction elements that timely characters. Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. It's because they need to keep people.
They need to keep you going, Rob,
so that you go spend the monies.
Want
to try some spice of life?
I think it's time, because we don't want to go too late.
Oh, okay.
Well, everybody's here.
Well, everyone's here. Let's talk about
We need all of your attention.
All of it. 100%.
So our last episode, we talked about the stresses of, getting gifts and trying to figure out what to get.
Yes.
Well, we reached out to friends, to people that, to companies that have worked with us or working with us.
Yes, to some of our partners that have partnered with us on Princess and Scoundrel. And
we're going to have some gift giveaways in the next, couple weeks?
Starting tomorrow, baby.
Starting tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow.
So make sure you're checking the Instagram.
Yes. So our first one is going to go up tomorrow. So the way that we're running this, and here's, in the post itself, it may not be super clear. So let's talk about like the intent of this giveaway. One is to just make either gift giving for somebody on your list easier, or just to treat yourself, right? Like if you win, you don't have to give that to anybody. And they're going to be different. So I think I won't say like what we're doing and how many we're doing, but we can talk about the first couple, because we have those like ready to go. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to spread some like holiday cheer, because it is stressful. It's a stressful time for whatever reason. You've got family stresses. The holidays are a sad time. Like maybe just this year in particular is difficult. No, we are not giving away Grogu underwear. Well, maybe if that's what you want, if that's what you want, that's what you can get. But we want, because what we talked about was like giving the gift of experiences and things that aren't necessarily things, right? So in addition to potentially winning something, we want you to gift kindness to each other. So the way that you're going to enter each of these giveaways is by making sure you're following us and the partner that we've partnered with on that specific one, and then commenting on that post and complimenting somebody. Like tag somebody in there, in that comment, and pay them a compliment. It doesn't matter if you just say like, hey man, the red shoes you wore at Life Day were super dope and I wish I had them. Or if you say like, your resilience through this tough time has been really inspiring to me. Like
wow.
whatever compliment you want to give. There's a scale. But you get the details.
No, Brent, no. Brent says Sarah's making room and giving away some of Steven's helmets.
I mean,
absolutely not.
That's going to be on my broadcast channel. Everybody gets crates. But yeah, so it's going to be super easy. I mean, it's an Instagram giveaway, so it's just going to be following both of our accounts, commenting by complimenting somebody else, and then sharing it to your stories. And it's that easy. And so we're going to run a handful of these during the first half of the month. And you can win some cool stuff. So tomorrow we'll tell you what it is to begin with, because we've got this queued up and we're ready to go. But you can win a $75 Heroes and Villains gift card, which is super cool because like they have great stuff. Like we posted a post earlier in the week about all of the cool stuff that we have from Heroes and Villains that we absolutely love. But like, I know they call it a belt bag on the website, and so that's what we personally, you and I refer to them as our fannies.
My fanny packs.
Not even fanny packs. We just call them where's my fanny? But we've been using them every day for like months, and they're wonderful. They're just, I love them. And they're at a good price point too, especially when you catch a deal. So that's going to be the first one. There you go. Look, Tim's wearing his Heroes and Villains socks and sweats. But yeah, you can use it for yourself if you want.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. So yeah, the first one's going to be dropping tomorrow. The next one, you want to talk about that one?
I mean, yeah, we can. Or no, we'll talk about it once. Yeah, let each of them run their course.
Okay, we can do that. So, but yeah, so it's going to be about every 3 days. I think we're going to be doing one for a while.
Yeah. So be checking constantly.
Turn on those notifications.
Yeah.
Space butts. I don't know if they sell space butts, but if they do. AP says, I don't quite understand. How do you enter the giveaway? So it is going to be each time you see one of the giveaways, and it'll be very clear which posts we post. I don't think we're going to be posting anything else but the giveaways probably. Unless there's like a Mosh collaboration or something. Yeah. But whenever you see the post, you're just going to make sure that you're following, like, for example, the one we're posting tomorrow is Princess and Scoundrel and Heroes and Villains. So make sure you're following both of those accounts. You comment on that post and compliment somebody and like tag them in it, and then share the post to your stories. Super easy. I think it's super easy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Easy. It's only going to be on Instagram.
Just to keep it.
The scope of all of the, and then it's going to be a random selection for the winner. So it's one entry per person. We'll gather up each of the giveaways is going to run for about 2 days. So you've got 2 days to go in there and no, you don't have to you can if you want to, but to follow, comment, and share. And then we will pull all of those into a big list, put it into like a random generator, and pick a winner.
Yeah. That'd be good.
If Sarah wants to tell secrets, let her. She never tells secrets. Oh God, I have lots of secrets right now too related to Mosh. Y'all want to talk beans? I got beans right now, but I won't say any of it. Let's see, and it's Thursday too, so all the other guys they've already streamed for the week, so you're not hearing no beans are coming out.
You get to be the ones to spill the beans.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, see, Jessica says she has her eye on the Ahsoka top. The one I have I really love.
Yeah.
Because it's nice and like long and
It was like a long sleeve, but it's kind of like a spirit jersey
kind
type,
of
where it's
and
like
then
a thin,
yeah.
so you
it's
could wear
a
it.
little bit bigger.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I'm not spilling anything. I will say that we have placed quite a massive order for lightsabers, though. Like a lot of lightsabers.
It's good.
It is. I'm very excited for the lightsabers. But yeah, I mean, that's our big announcement is doing the giveaway. I think we wanted to do something to.
And we're gonna talk about it later on, but just a huge thanks to these partners of offering up anything.
Yeah, seriously.
So the fact that they support us in that way, and that's like super cool. Yeah. Like the fact that we're able to ask and they're able to say, yeah, that's like a super cool thing.
I know. It's like, hey, you want to sponsor this giveaway for us, please? But everybody was like really great about it. They're like, absolutely. Here's what we can do. Jessica says that means we don't have to lug your lightsabers. No. So we're going to have the ones, like we've sold it. I think every mosh except the first mosh. So they're little lightsabers. They're not like, it's not like what you're getting like a NeoPixel or anything like that. Like they're a little squatty, but they're fun. I like those.
But they're nice to carry like for mosh, because the Savi's ones, they get a little heavy. So if you're just like moshing, then that's a full workout.
It is a very full workout. I think we had a bunch of lightsabers at the back of the stage in San Diego, and they were all like I forget whose they were. I think just a bunch of people brought their lightsabers and had them like charged up and ready to go on stage, so whoever was on stage could grab a lightsaber. But like, first of all, your girl is not adept at like turning on a lightsaber, first of all, because like they've got all these fonts and these lights and these like, if you do this or if you do this or like whatever you do and you hit the button or you hold the button, or you're supposed to like Morse code the button. I can't do any of that, and so I would be there in the back and be like, can somebody turn on this lightsaber?
I think that's the hard thing about those really nice sabers, is there's not just a turn it on type of thing. Yeah. So
I want a lightsaber that is easy to hold. I want to turn the button and it turns on. I don't want it to like flash. I don't want the sound. I don't want any of that. Yeah. I just want a lightsaber just so I can like party with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, after San Diego, I was like, forget it. Because they were all heavy too. I was like, I went before New York. I just went downstairs and grabbed a lightsaber. I was like, hey, I need to see one of those for a second. Just ran off. Like, see, maybe you lick the button if you're Dano. Maybe that's why the lightsabers weren't working. They were Dano's lightsabers.
They're all licked up.
Ugh, gross. Oh, Yoda's lightsaber. I just want a little lightsaber.
That Cal dual saber one, that's like a barbell right there.
And Jessica says she had her Halcyon saber. Yeah, man.
See, that one's pretty light though.
It's better.
Yeah.
But
again, it's lighter, but it's still.
Yeah, that's why I really like the ones that we get for Mosh, because they're just
simple.
They're simple. That's all I need. I just want a simple lightsaber. They're almost like the training sabers.
Yeah.
At Star Cruiser, they're kind of like that. Probably a little bit shorter.
I don't know. I think they might be
the same.
Might be the same.
Did we crack the code? Did they buy them from Alibaba? But yeah, it takes a minute for them to come in. So I was having to negotiate this week, but it's underway. I'm excited. So we've got a lot coming up, and that's the thing is like we're in the holiday season, so everything is about to just like accelerate. Oh, good. Galen is doing well. I'm glad to hear it, Galen. Oh, that's good. The lightsaber boxes make great poster holders too. That is a very pro tip.
Yeah. Should have thought about that.
For real. I think we bought poster tubes last time, didn't we?
We bought a bunch of poster tubes.
We should just like get labels. So for the lightsaber, it was like a free poster box with purchase of lightsaber. Hopefully the sabers aren't with the life orbs. I hope not. No. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, we're in like light speed mode because we've got Christmas coming in 4 weeks, and then 4 weeks after that is Mosh. 4 weeks after that is the cruise. Like, we thought stupidly that life would slow down after Star Cruiser.
Not yet.
And it has not. So it's a good thing though, because the great thing is like some things like Mosh Isley and then the cruise specifically, because we've planned it that way, is a way for all of these people to still get together and hang out. And like Life Day was something that was already established. It wasn't something we created, but it was something that we were able to all go do, or like a bunch of us were able to go do and just hang out.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the best
I think
part.
that's where it's gotten a little bit, it's become more fun, because like on Star Cruiser, it's great hanging out with everybody, but you also don't really get to hang because you're trying to like enjoy the experience
and the story
and all that stuff. Whereas like, you know, yeah, we didn't do the Life Day stuff, but it was fun because you were just like hanging out with different friends.
I was there for the vibes again.
So, but I think that's it, that there's not that pressure of like, you know, we've got to do anything. It's just like, nope, let's just hang out.
Yeah.
You know, just chat. So
like truly, it feels like I mean, I always joke like vibes over story. Like we were always just hanging out with the people that were there, and Mosh Isley, I do not get to just like vibe out and hang out because we're working the whole time. But like with the cruise and with everything else and Life Day specifically, good luck. It's just so nice to just chill for once and not have to be rushing to a secret meeting or something like that. So I think that's why I haven't been like just absolutely devastated by Star Cruiser closing, because we're still seeing all of these people and like the friends that we've made and like hanging out together and getting dressed up and getting together for the same reasons that we loved going on Star Cruiser in the first place, was just to be around people that get it.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy. Whew. All right, what did we miss? I put a poster tube in my Savi's saber holder for San Diego to keep the poster safe during the night. That's smart. We have somebody that has like one of those big like architecture like blueprint tubes, and she has like modded it out to look really cool. And I think she puts on there like every mosh that she's been to too.
That's cool.
And so then she like puts her poster in there and her lightsaber. Ooh, Jessica says, wardrobe plan begins on my holiday time off. I have an idea of what I want to do. I just know I won't do it anytime soon. Merry Sithmas to all. The real Star Cruiser was the friends we made along the way.
It's true, Tim.
It's true. It is. Star Cruiser, it was a place, and it just lives on as a community now. And so long as we like stick together and we still continue to do these things and hang out, even if it's just like a virtual hangout like this, like this is Star Cruiser.
Yeah.
A great community has risen from Mosh and Star Cruiser and all of your podcasts. Thank you, Brent. I mean, it was unintended. I think all of it, like all of the community that has been built out of all of these different things, was completely unintended, right? Like, like Mosh Isley specifically. We were just trying to throw a cool after party in Anaheim, and now it's evolved into all of this, and people that make costumes specific and trips specific to come out to this event is just like, it's wonderful. It's a dream. But I think that's a good place to wrap it up, huh?
I think that is.
We had a lot to catch up on, and we did it. We got through all of it. AP says, I talked about that a couple weeks ago. Yeah, you were on the Heroes podcast, Heroes of the Halcyon. The legacy lives on in our communities, and we're not done. There is more to come. I agree.
But like you said, it is time.
It is time.
Thank you.
Thank
you, everyone, for coming to hang out. It's so good. It's so good to be back live.
It is so good to be back live.
And then I guess you'll see us. Check tomorrow, Instagram.
Yes.
Check what to do. Get in there.
Be nice
Comment,
to people.
share.
Be nice to each other.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time. So yeah, we'll be running that. We've got Christmas coming up. We've got some things that we've got going on over here. So lots to keep us busy. But thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time.